Welcome back, Guardians. Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today I want to talk about a new grenade launcher called the VS Velocity Baton, and why this will need to be a weapon that you farm out a god roll for. The Velocity Baton is available through the Vespers Host dungeon, and it can drop in the opening and the final encounter of this new dungeon. The Velocity Baton makes the second area denial grenade launcher introduced into Destiny, with the first being the Lost Signal Stasis grenade launcher, which was available during the Echoes episode. Area denial framed grenade launchers offer a unique advantage during your engagements. When firing these weapons, a burst of 5 bolts will be discharged. Each of the 5 bolts will leave behind a lingering field, which will damage any enemy that's standing within it. And in the case of the Velocity Baton, this will inflict continuous void damage to any target that's standing within it, and that's going to damage those targets for upwards of 6 seconds. The damage from each of the fields will not stack, meaning any single enemy will only be able to take damage from the first field that they come into contact with. Area denial grenade launchers make it much easier to manage groups of enemies, as you can lay down a field of void energy to deter enemies from entering into any given area, which could bring you a lot of advantages when running Gambit or zone-based Crucible matches. And since these fields of energy will deal continuous damage to a large area over an extended time, they'll provide you with a great source of easy damage that you can mix into any weapon rotation. And because of its unique combination of weapon perks, the Velocity Baton will give you an incredible option to maximize on your effectiveness against large groups of enemies or single high-value targets. Unlike the Lost Signal, the Velocity Baton cannot be crafted, but it can be enhanced, giving its third and fourth column traits improved performance. This also means that you'll be subject to the RNG gods whenever it comes to getting the perfect combination of weapon perks. When it comes to base stats, the Velocity Baton is almost a mirror image of the Lost Signal, but that quickly changes when we start looking at our available weapon traits. The Velocity Baton comes with a Bray Legacy origin trait, which generates a small amount of ability energy to the most charged ability whenever damaging enemies. This encourages us to use all of our abilities much more often, which would see this fitting in with just about any build. When it comes to barrel and magazine options, we want to look out for volatile launch and high velocity rounds to give our projectiles more impact damage and faster velocity. When we look at our third column traits, we have some pretty big standouts with Demolitionist, Unrelenting, and Repulsor Brace. Demolitionist will be very synergetic with builds that are very grenade centric. When throwing grenades, the magazine will be automatically reloaded, and whenever landing final blows with this weapon will generate bonus grenade energy. Unrelenting gives us a source of health regeneration, as we'll gain 65 points of health on each defeated target. And with Repulsor Brace, we're going to get a source of damage resistance, as defeating void debuffed targets will grant a 70-point overshield. Both of these traits would be fantastic options to improve your overall survivability, and Repulsor Brace is going to have some unique synergy with destabilizing rounds. After defeating a target with this weapon, nearby enemies will become volatile, and by defeating those volatile enemies, you'll instantly trigger the benefits of Repulsor Brace. This is an incredibly powerful combination to use in activities that include a lot of dense groups of enemies, as you'll be able to trigger the benefits of both of these perks much more often. When it comes to the rest of our fourth column traits, we have some solid choices in Attrition Orbs, Bait and Switch, and High Ground. High Ground is a perfect fit with any area denial grenade launcher, because all you need to do is jump up in the air to get a better view of the battlefield, drop down those bolts, and trigger upwards of a 25% bonus in damage. Bait and Switch will make for a strong option when it comes to sustained damage. Pairing this with Demolitionist would help you rotate through your loadouts more easily, so that you can trigger the 30% bonus in damage. And since those fields of void energy will continuously damage enemies over 6 seconds, it'll be easier to trigger Bait and Switch on your other weapons. Attrition Orbs would also be a great perk to pair up with Demolitionist to give you and your teammates a reliable source of generating orbs of power, which is going to help you keep weapon surges active to help you maintain optimal damage. I find the combination of Repulsor Brace with destabilizing rounds to be the most beneficial with this weapon because of how strong it is at handling big groups of enemies and keeping us loaded up with overshields. but there's no denying that Demolitionist with High Ground or Bait and Switch would give this a tremendous advantage in overall damage output. So you may find it beneficial to keep an eye out for both of these powerful combinations. The Velocity Baton is a truly impressive weapon, and it'll surely improve your gameplay experiences here in Revenant. So if you haven't gotten yourself one of these bad boys yet, then you're really going to need to jump into the Vespers Host dungeon and get one for yourself. With that said, I wish you all the best of luck out there. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.